whose life you're making more challenging, more scary. All right, so non-binary pronouns. Yeah, when I talk at schools, they love this. So drive English teachers crazy. What are the other points of non-binary pronouns? Parents are just too old. So demonstrate that difference. Confuse any of us north of 40. And then sometimes we get psychological elbow room with the non-binary pronouns. I've had some folks tell me, like, I wasn't ready for he, but I didn't feel like she and they was a better step. So that's not everybody's story, but it's some people's story. It is also a way to create social change. All of these things I think can be true, and that's cool. And I say this because, again, being of a certain age, I remember reading the newspaper or textbooks, and they only use masculine pronouns, as if those were the only individuals who mattered on the planet. And so through repeated efforts and bringing that awareness, that is no longer the case, at least where I live, in the US of A. There's also been a change in racist language, where we used to only, again in the US of A, speak of people's races if they were not white. But now everybody has a race, and so either nobody's race is mentioned or everybody's race is mentioned, as it should be. So we are creating change by using different language. So if you work with young people, like I see a lot of young people, a lot of adolescents, many parents come in and ask me, can't they just be gay? And it also cracks me up because when I first started my practice in the 90s, that never would have been a thing. And so now they're very happy to have that. Like, can't they just be gay? So I explained to the parents, I'm like, look, your kid can be cisgender and be gay, lesbian, straight, hetero, bi, pan, poly, ace, scolio. But guess what? Your kid can also be trans and be all those things. So, just to clarify, there are trans guys who look like me and they're attracted to men. So they are now gay men. There are women who are trans who are attracted to women. They are now lesbians. Can be an issue with their wives sometimes not being up for that. Take advanced mental health, where we may talk about that more later. So, to be clear, I was a lesbian. I was attracted to women before. Now I'm a straight white guy, which I never saw coming. I promise. So I include this middle category because there are some folks who are gender diverse, non-binary. They may or may not relate to the terms gay, lesbian, or straight. They may or may not, again, because those terms are defined in relation to one's own identity and the person you're attracted to. So that's why I have those question marks there. Some people may say they're more androphilic or gynophilic, or there are other terms, gynoromantic, androromantic. So you can still, though, be bisexual, pan, poly, because those are not as dependent on the identity of the person. All right, so when we're thinking about sexuality, we also need to recognize it doesn't always line up with people's actual behavior. I remember eons ago reading a book called Lesbian Nuns. I guess they're supposed to be celibate, but they still identified as lesbian. And folks, may not be engaging in behavior because they're married to one person and they've not yet come out till the kids grow up or something. They've not let other people know who they identify as being attracted to. Some people have sex with men, for example, in particular, men who have sex with men, they don't always identify as gay. And so that is a really important area of research, for example, in HIV and monkeypox. So people don't always identify with the community And then some folks identify as asexual or aromantic and may not experience attractions or romantic interest. And we can break that down further, but you get the idea that not everybody's sexuality is straight, and we need to understand sexuality is independent of gender identity. So, ladder of assumptions, we have now totally deconstructed it, right? And we see that all kinds of possible variations exist. So that's what we want to embrace, and that's what we're often helping parents and families embrace also. So our